students, through this presentation, I will be talking to you with regard to the Factories Act of 1948, specifically speaking, the welfare provisions under the Factories Act of 1948. But before I speak about the welfare provisions, let me tell you about the background of the Factories Act of 1948. In the early days of industrialization, there was no standardized working culture among the industries. People were not working in proper working conditions. And there were long working hours and exploitation were the order of the day. In such a condition, the government of India realized that guidelines need to be set in order to ensure that the working class is working under proper working conditions. Now let us look at the objectives of the Factories Act of 1948. Through the Factories Act, what the government visualized is to ensure the health, safety and welfare of the workers employed in factories, to regulate the working conditions in factories, to prevent accidents and occupational hazards, to provide for the enforcement of statutory requirements related to factories, to regulate the working hours, leave entitlements and other employment related provisions for factory workers. Now let us look at the welfare provisions under the Factories Act. Section 42 to 49 speaks about the welfare provisions which need to be provided by the employer to the employees. Let us look at one by one. Section 42 speaks about washing facilities, wherein the employer need to provide washing facilities for the employees while they are working in the organization. And there should be separately screened facilities which need to be provided for male and female employees. The next one is section 43, which speaks about facilities for storing and drying of clothing. After washing the clothes, they have to store the clothes, they have to dry the clothes, for which facilities need to be made by the employer. Section 44 speaks about facilities for sitting. Wherever the employees are working in assembly line, where they are working in standing position, whenever there is an opportunity, there should be sitting facilities so that they can make use of the facility. So sitting facilities need to be provided by the employer. Further, section 45 speaks about first aid facilities need to be provided by the employer. The first aid facility had to be with the custody of a trained personnel who has to be available throughout the working hours. And the first aid box need to have only the prescribed contents need to be there in the box. In any factory where there are 250 employees are ordinarily employed, the employer need to provide them with the canteen facilities. In the canteen facility, there should be subsidized, nutritious food available to all the workers while they are working in the factory. Further, section 47 speaks about shelters, restrooms and lunchrooms. See, wherever there are canteens, if there are separate facilities available within the canteen, then this section can be eliminated. Otherwise, separately, shelters, restrooms and lunchrooms need to be provided. The section 48 speaks about creches. If there are 30 women employees are working, including the contract workers, then the employer need to provide them with creche facilities so that children below 6 years of these women employees can be kept in the creche. And the creche in charge need to be a female who is trained to take care of infants. Further, section 49 speaks about welfare officers. Wherever there are 500 or more employees are working, the employer need to provide them with the welfare officers. To conclude, adhering to these provisions is crucial for HR professionals to create a safe and healthy working environment, demonstrate commitment to employee welfare, and enhance overall productivity and satisfaction. Thank you.